What's the point of me doing that to you?
Yeah.
Really? Because if I've got more experience than you, or if I'm bigger than you, what's the point of me doing that to you? I don't leave space for anything. To be focusing forward. Good. Good, good, good. That's it. That's it, that's it. So now that's good. So now you've got some forward intention. Keep it going forward, yeah? Don't look at my arms. You can look at the sort of, up or chest, but if my arms are there, go forward. Yeah, that's it. Not a reaction, let it fall forward. Good, that's it, that's it. Because then I can build you up, then we can start to have a play like that, you know? Keep it going forward. Good, good. Both forward. And cover your center. Good, good. And not a sort of a punch, let it fall forward. So there's a difference between a reaction and a response. So both elbows are falling forward on me the whole time. Yeah. That's it. And try to cover my line of attack. So here, as you come forward, try to cover the line of attack a little bit. Or here, try to cover the line of attack as you fall forward. Cover the line of attack. No, that one didn't cover. So yeah, cover the line of attack as you yeah. Yeah, it was quite quiet. So this is very light.
Yeah.
It's very light, but we can have a lot. You can probably last for 20 minutes like that, and a lot of automatic techniques will come out naturally, rather than this. And you try to respond, or worse. What's the point of me doing that to you? Yeah. Really? Because if I've got more experience than you, or if I'm bigger than you, what's the point of me doing that to you? I don't leave space for anything. I'm not really learning anything. I can do that on the dummy. Yeah. You know, so he doesn't learn either. Yeah. So I recommend with Chisau, have times where you're like, all right, what I do with my students, 90 minutes of the time, 90% of the time, I'm doing what I did with you, and the last 10%, I say, okay, you go. I task them, go for it. You know, so you need that. You need to pressure test it and do it in real life. But 90% of the time is this. I don't want to say soft stuff, but it's that stuff where I'm giving them space and it's attacking, defending. Yeah, there's a learning thing, because if you're just going 100% all out from the beginning, then it's messy and there's less chance of improvement. Yeah. The first step to being able to control the opponent is by having full control of your own body. And that's not I'm not trying to sound philosophical, but that's a fact when it comes to Chisau. How are you going to control me, right? If you do it like tense for a second, yeah. How are you going to control my fuxia, let alone my body, if already, without even moving, you're already resisting that way? You can't control your own tansha to keep it there and affect me. How are you supposed to, affect the other person? So really what you said is absolutely right. The step of doing Silam Ta, so you can keep everything open, and then when I punch something, when I Chisau with someone, or sparring at the highest level, or fighting at the highest level, how can I retain whatever I'm feeling in Silam Ta? Every external exercise that we do is a test and a challenge. That's trying to take my state away from me. I won't let it. So you're very much in here. Yeah. You're very much in here and getting tested. And then as you go on there, you start to realize, oh wow, gaps are opening. Oh, that's a cool position I'm in. And oh wow, I got control of this guy. And confidence comes with that. Then you can hone it and perfect it and shine the edges, etc. But if from the beginning you go, okay, center line, okay, let's go. I'm going like that, and then straight away you start to do that, then there's a lot less chance you can fight. Don't get me wrong, you can learn how to, at least you get roughened up, which is good, especially what we were doing with Mark, or what you guys were doing, We were punching each other in the body as hard as possible.
I Clinton, just kick the crap.
Yeah, I've got ribs where there shouldn't be, this like there's a tailbone thing here, the sternum, mine's pointing that way. It's probably from Mark. Yeah. Mark, once there was a lump after rolling with me. There was a lump. I swear to you, it was like a tennis ball size. And then they said you should go to hospital, check it out. I said, nah, you'll be right. It's Scotsman, That'll be all right. I just had beers, but it was a lump this big on his chest. It was a bruise this big. Yeah, John had the same. I gave Mark bruises.
Well,
So that's not healthy, man. So it's good. I mean, it's good for learning how to take a hit and go, it does bring your ego up a little bit, but it gives you the necessary thing. And one thing that's necessary in a fight, unless you're Chun level where you can just let all the adrenaline dump, everything subside. He said the first, because he had like a dozen challenge fights. Wong Chun had over 100 apparently. He has a dozen challenge fights, and he said the first one was when he was 18. They came and he took it all when he was in Yip Man school, because when he opened his own school, his students would take up the challenge fights. So he said the first one was 18, 19 or something, and if it was like that. So I wasn't scared, but he just didn't know how to, just the first time, didn't know how to control the adrenaline, but he wasn't scared. The same thing, boom, finished the fight. The second one, he said, he wasn't shaking, but he could still feel it, and he still did the same. He said then by that time he understood. He said by the third time, fighting for me was like playing with my Kung Fu brothers. It was just like easy like that. But even for him, there was that adrenaline, right? So when you put on that state, I was saying one time in China, I was going to get into a fight. It was about to happen. My leg was going like that.
Mine does that. Why is that?
Adrenaline.
Yeah,
The heart beats harder because I haven't had a fight for a long time. I was doorman at King's Cross 15 years ago. Then I moved to Hong Kong, safest place in the world. If in Hong Kong, well not now, but before, you walk, seriously, if you go to Lang Kwai Fong, is where all the bars and stuff are. If you decided you were the king of the street, you could walk around like you are and people would treat you like you are. That's how tame it was. Whereas in King's Cross where I was bouncing, man, you see people coming, I'm like, oh no. Like 15 lebos are coming in and you can't put them in, they got tats on the neck, you can't do that. Okay, well that's it. And people would say that, and that's why I stopped. I was like, it's not worth $20 cash in hand when someone's like, I'll be back tonight, mate, and you're stuck there.
I had a mate who was a doorman in Sweden, and they had bulletproof vests.
Yeah.
And he said they kept a lever out and he just came back with an easy and just opened up on them, mate.
Yeah, so it's not worth it.
And
yeah.
Like fucking dive, and he was getting paid $50 an hour, and he goes, that ain't enough.
Yeah. So if you're at at a level where you can anyway, when that was happening, I was telling the story. I swear, in the heat of the moment, I was taikong sing and it would stop. And as it was gonna kick off, I was like, oh my God, that's very interesting. And then I started, because my wife was there.
Hold on a second, mate, I'm just lifting up my body,
Okay, feel this. Yeah, and then I started to think, and then it came back again. 3 times, it would as soon as I come out of it, I swear, this is no word of lie, it was happening. So if you can put a state, because you are becoming present, you're feeling your body, and you're not, when adrenaline dump is like in the what if, like if you're people that are scared of flying, a week leading up to it, you're like, oh, it gets closer, or public speaking or whatever, and you've got these nerves. Nothing's even happened. You could be in bed thinking about your missus cheating on you, and you react as if it's happened. Your body reacts as if it's happened, right? So that's because you're in here. You're in here. But when you can go in the present moment, then all that stuff is not there anymore. And that's my theory. You come present. Some people say you can use your breath, breathe heavy, but we can just take all things, feel that spine. So if you're at that level, then maybe no need. Even then, I think you need to get pressure tested. But what we did that was useful for Mark, and I don't regret it, is we got used to taking, not in the face, but we got used to taking very hard hits and then standing there and giving them back. That was useful for when I was bouncing. At least I was less scared.
He doesn't do that now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yes.
Old days.
Yeah. But I think so my recommendation in Chisau, even if you want to do that, if you're with a partner that wants to do that, 10% of the time. So my recommendation is to do that. Now, having said that, going from that type of training that I said to what I'm trying to do now, my best, and hold the ego, and even if people, even in a situation like this, if someone's going like that and moving me back, you do that, I don't care, because as long as I can keep my own thing, and it took me, and probably if that happened, I would probably go hard, because the old side comes back a little bit, because the ego is of course there, but it took me years to transition from that, wanting to hit. With Ma was the first person I rolled with in Hong Kong. There's a 2-hour footage of us. Mark's got it as well. And I had no idea. He was much better than me back then. And I was just, he was just like there. He was on me like, if you let me just go limp. He was like, he'll be like there and sort of like, or like this. And as he's doing that, I'm planting myself and going boom, boom, boom. And Choi Shin Tin's just standing there. There's a photo of him just watching as well. And he was just smiling and going like that. And it's on YouTube channel what he said. Then he told Ma, as he was watching, because he knew that I had no malice, because I was trained the way Mark trained us. That's how Chisau is, right? So I was like, smile. I was like, this guy's great because he's not giving up and he keeps going. Choi Shin Tin's watching. This is fantastic. But watching it now, I'm cringing because I'm like, how embarrassing. I had no clue. But Chun was watching, and then he told Ma, he goes, what you need to do, and then he Chisau with me, and without hitting me back, he completely locked me up, like what I was doing on you, but 10 times better, locked me up, and he started to move my body. So I'm trying to punch, and I'm like going like that. It's on YouTube, that part of it. And it's on camera, and then 2 people run away because he's sort of run away towards the camera, and he's just full control. And so he was showing that if you can do that, because Mark couldn't control me like that because he couldn't get it out, but he had good structures.
Who was it?
Ma.
Ma, yeah.
Yeah. But when Chun showed that if you can control him there, he can't hit. If it's going like this all the time, how can he hit? But Ma wasn't able to do that to me, so I could still, his hand is here, but I could plant and hit. You know, I don't think it's valid when people do this kind of stuff in Chisau from here, right? Suddenly do that. Like from Fuxau, on the way up, they time it. As the bong is coming down, they do that, you know? It's valid in some ways, but not really, because you're doing Chisau, and then in a fight, you would be ready for anything. You're not going there. And also, you know, from here, they're going like that. And like, in Hong Kong, they do that. Used to make me upset. So they do that, you know. I asked Chun and said, ultimately, you should be able to cover the line of attack and stick to them to such a level that they can't, as soon as they retain here, naturally you cover it, right? But that's like a very, very high level. Yeah. So I don't recommend doing that. I don't believe in doing that, and that stuff is what leads to punch for punch and ego stuff coming out. So I recommend not to do that kind of stuff. Don't go for point scoring. Go for controlling if you got full control on him, and you can feel. If he goes for a punch, you can move them and stuff like that. That is the ultimate goal in Chisau. If you want to go punch on stuff, again, 5-10% of the time at the end, or glove up and go for it. You know.
It's like people trying to win, eh?
We all do. I'm standing here like I've already surpassed that thing. Now, trust me, man. Put me in the right situation, and that thing comes out still. Yeah.